Desperately seeking Susan, at least that's the type of romantic advertisement that some South African women would respond to. But several looking for love have become victims of romance scam syndicates, being swindled out of millions of rand. They're often manipulated after meeting men on Facebook, WhatsApp or dating sites. Clinical psychologist Ruth Ancer joins us to discuss how and why people still fall for these scams. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks.
Why?
I think there are many, many reasons, and we need to remember that these scamsters are sophisticated and patient and extremely good at what they do. So it's about winning the trust of people. So we might think that people are just really naive, but actually the way that especially these romance scamsters work is they can spend months and months grooming people. And they groom people who desperately want to believe that they have found someone that can meet their needs, that seems incredibly sensitive, and that's because that these scamsters do a lot of work and they have scripts, and they're real people, but they pretend to be the kind of person that the person's looking for.
And I mean, how do they build up that profile? What do they tap into to get to that state?
So they build up a profile of generally someone who's very financially successful, who has some kind of vulnerability, like they've lost their partner or they've got a disabled child, someone that would evoke sympathy. But then they spend a lot of time listening and building the sense of there is this real relationship. And because the person's in another country, they will say that they are looking to come visit, and then there are plans that are made that make you feel like you're part of a team. So suddenly it's our dreams, and we want to be together. But then after a while, when you trust them, suddenly when they're supposed to meet, little things start coming up, logistical details, where they then start requiring money. And as soon as someone that you've never met, even if you feel that you know them because of the months and months of interactions, as soon as they ask you for money, you need to know and be aware that this is probably a scam. But I think by that stage, people are so invested emotionally in the fact that
you can't believe, I should imagine, that it's you that's fallen for this.
Absolutely.
It's not possible.
And part of it is not wanting to let go of this person that you've built a connection with. So even if people are saying to you, if you've told people, be careful, you kind of say, well, maybe, but what happens if I'm going to lose this wonderful person just because I'm not trusting them?
So fantastic.
Yes, and I think denial plays a very strong role. And by that stage, you're so emotionally invested. It's not just the money that you're going to lose.
But
it's the dream of this person.
It's not even these emotional ones. When I was selling my car in Qatar, if two people hadn't done it, boy, I was going down that slippy slope. I got some guy phoning me, and eventually found out that the wife had hurt herself and the kid is looking after him, and can we do this car transaction? And you do get swept along with it because you think, well, wow, this person sounds amazing, and they're very gentle and
absolutely
encourage you to go along the route of them.
And you've got to remember that these people, that's what they do all day, and they might be stringing 15, 20, 30 people along at the same time, because as long as one takes, it's been worth their while. So that's what they do all the time, and they're very sophisticated. They build it up. They use profiles. Sometimes people even, they have live chats with the person, if the person fits the profile in terms of what they look like. But actually, they don't really exist.
And who is the person? Who is the victim?
The victim, in terms of the romance ones, are generally vulnerable people. Research has shown that the victims who've come forward, it's very hard to do research because people are embarrassed and don't want to come forward. But generally, slightly older women who describe themselves as romantic and sometimes impulsive. But we've got to be careful not to stereotype and say, this is a victim, because I think we're all vulnerable. But generally it's people who might be lonely and looking for someone who can be like an emotional partner. So they build up this best friend. And people I know who have been scammed or almost scammed say that even after they realize they've been scammed, they really miss the interaction with this person, because the person starts talking to you 3-4 times a day. There's daily contact, and they become an integral part of your life. So they also found that people who have been scammed are often victims again of another scam.
So maybe we can scam the scammer and get what you need from an emotional point of view. Thank you very much, Ruth Ancer. And as you say, good thing, if you've never met the fiancé, don't trust him.
Don't give any money.
And don't give any money, Ruth. Thank you.